Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, as always, guys, and we're getting ready to do this thing. Want to thank all the people, all the people in the chat right now getting ready to get their champagne wishes and caviar dreams, because it's going to be that type of day. Brad, how you doing, bro?
Hey, I'm doing good, Book. You know I'm doing good. My Crimson Tide didn't come through for me in the national championships, but that's all right. You know why they didn't win, right?
Why is that?
Because they hired Bill O'Brien to be their offensive coordinator. It's the dumbest decision in the history of University of Alabama. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, man, I love Bob Phillips, man, but that brother worked everywhere. You know what I mean?
But I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's going on? What's going on, man? Day going all right? Everything going all right?
Day's going good. Here's the thing. I was without. So you know what? I think you're one of the people who told me about this company. I won't put their name out there because I don't want any ill will from them. But there's a company that will come and fix stuff that breaks down in your house.
Yeah.
Right. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right. So we had a hot water heater on Christmas Eve go out. Right. For the powers the showers and all the stuff. Right.
Yeah.
So I filed a claim. Boom. They sent a guy out 2 days later. Right.
Just like that.
Johnny on the spot. Except they're like, oh, hey, you know what? We know what's going on. We got to order this part. Right. I was like, okay, we can get the part. So a week goes by of cold showers. And the part, they call, I have to call them. And they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, the part's been discontinued.
Oh, yeah. So
I was like, okay.
You got to get the new one.
So I said, you're going to get a new part, right? Oh, yeah, we found another part. And this was the key here.
But
it should work. It should work. I was like, okay, when should this part be in? We'll have it in by Friday. We'll install it on Saturday. Okay, so this by Saturday, that's day 15.
Wow.
Right? Or day 16. Day 16 with no hot water.
15 days, no hot water.
No hot water. Okay.
Amen.
So they come out on that Saturday, and guess what? They brought the wrong part.
They said it might work.
It might work.
It's almost like cards subject to change.
That's exactly what it was. There was an asterisk next to the thing.
Exactly.
So the part no longer works. I'm talking to the company. I'm talking to the plumber. I'm doing everything that I can to get this thing working, right? Finally, they say, you know what? We'll give you cash and you can go out there. You can hire your own plumber. We'll pay for his service and we'll pay for a new hot water heater. I said, perfect.
Sound like a good deal.
I said, okay. So I went out to a plumber. I got a quote on the hot water heater. He said, look, I'll come install it. I'll take away the old one. I'll pay for the inspector to come out and look at it. $1,300. I said, okay. I called my brother-in-law, who's an expert at this. He said, oh, that's a great deal. It's normally about $1,500 to $2,000. He said, go with that guy. I said, okay. So I booked the guy for yesterday. And then this company, the warranty company, calls back and they said, hey, yeah, so we did a calculation. We're going to pay you $600 to get the work done.
Wow.
And I said, but the hot water heater costs $700. But long story short, the original people came out today. They replaced the hot water heater on day 21, ladies and gentlemen, of no hot water. 3 weeks later, we finally have it. We have hot water in the building.
Hey, man. Welcome to being a homeowner, man. You know, welcome to being a homeowner.
I felt like I was bathing in the Pacific Ocean for 3 weeks.
Tell you right now, that company that you're talking about, man, they saved me many a times. I mean,
yeah,
replace the air conditioner, you know what I mean? Hot water heater, go out. Dishwasher could go out. Boom, you give them a call. Garbage disposal, you know what I mean? If this company wants us to start promoting for them, maybe they ought to send us a check.
You can give us a call. Send an email to Booker Social Media at Gmail.
Oh man, but what? Hey man, I want to thank I want to thank Moose. You know what I mean for saying some good words about me, as well as it's always great to bounce it back as well. And we talk about on this show as far as I hate these damn movements. I hate these damn hashtags. But I don't mind the Moose Nation pushing for Moose to actually get a shot. So definitely put my name on the list as far as getting Moose a shot in the big leagues. I'm talking about no matter where it is, just let it. Hall of Fame, let him in. You know what I mean? Let him in.
Let him out. Look, I like Moose. Again, I loved him when he was down here at Reality Wrestling. I love being able to watch him live and in person. And I heard the words that he said about you. And it's true, you know. Everybody, and what you said, I mean, it's true. Everybody deserves a second chance. And if people judge you off your past mistakes, you'll never get anywhere. You know, people, if they want to try to hold you back for some of that stuff, you know what I mean? So shout out to Moose. I hope he gets wherever he wants to do. I hope that the other side is willing to have open mind and open heart. And I hope they open their checkbook.
You know what I'm saying?
Pay the man.
Hey, take care of him. And on another note, man, I got a phone call. I got a phone call from somebody who was ticked off at me for some words I said a couple of days ago on the show, as for somebody might get booed out of the building if they were to show. Yeah, I got a call from Chris Jericho, man. And
he called you?
That just called me out to a fight.
No.
Yeah, saying, look, man, don't be saying that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You know who I am, the Ayatollah rock and roller, the Mick Jagger of all the sports entertainment and professional wrestling. That's what he said. That's what he said. You know what I mean? So I'm just putting it out there, man. People picked that up and they ran with it. And my thing is this. Let me be serious here for 1 second. Let me be serious here for a minute. You know, when I say stuff like that, and sometimes I'm serious, seriously joking, in a way, and I look at it to the degree of just say where we are right now. Chris Jericho, he left WWE to go to AEW to be really the face of AEW. Am I correct here? Am I correct?
100%.
To be the face of AEW, and then for Chris Jericho to come back to be a part of WWE after everything's going so good. You don't think you're gonna get some boos from something? You don't think you're gonna piss somebody off by doing something like that? If you don't think so, okay, fine. That's where I'm going with this. As far as, like I said, I don't think we're gonna see an AEW crossover with WWE because it's definitely not time for something like that. That's my point. I think more so than anything. And guys, Chris Jericho actually did not give me a call. I just want to put that out there too,
because you already knew that was going to be a big story.
Chris Jericho. I'm just pulling your leg here, guys.
But here's the thing. This is where, yeah, no. Again, anybody with something between their ears, right, could have figured out what you meant by that. Just saying, hey, it's an AEW guy coming into WWE territory. You never know what the reaction would be. Now,
look here. I know I got booed out of the building when I came from WCW to WWE in Tacoma, Washington, in the main event with Marcus Bagwell. I'm just speaking from experience. That's all.
Well, and the funny thing was that wasn't even really what the conversation was about, you know. But it was a flashy headline. right?
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
flashy headline.
What do
But
you
what
think
you were saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, and just for the record, we're all Jericho fans on this show. Jericho was the first guest in the Hall of Fame.
Look, Jericho and I, we're good friends. All right. I just talked to Jericho on the phone a couple of weeks ago because I'm trying to get Fozzy down here to do some work. You know what I mean? So when people say stuff like, Booker's out of touch. Okay. Am I out of touch with saying Moose deserves a shot? Am I out of touch? Am I out of touch? Am I out of touch with saying something like John Morrissey? Not John Morrissey. W. Morrissey is a guy who's working his way back and, perhaps should get a second chance. Am I out of touch? I'm all about this next generation. I'm all about moving this business forward. And the only way we're going to move this business forward is with these young guys. Because I can't do it anymore, at least not at the level once good. So my thing is, I'm with you guys. But when headlines come up like that, guys, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype, okay? We're having fun here inside the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And again, it does bug me to a certain extent because, if you don't take the time to go actually watch what was said and in the context it was said, anything that you say could be misconstrued, right? That's the internet.
That's the world we live in right now, Brad. We can't do anything about that. But the smart ones, they know, the ladies, they know, hey guys, you're in the Hall of Fame. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute. You're worth it.
Walker, Texas Ranger handles the bad guys with a roundhouse kick. I'm Jim Walker, Walker, Texas lawyer. I handle the insurance companies with a roundhouse kick to the wallet. If you've been injured in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, give me a call at 713-552-1117 or visit my website at walkertexaslawyer.com. You'll be glad you did. Why would you call anyone else?
Can you dig it, sucker? Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. And yes, I am right now sipping on a little You're Worth It, little vitamin supplement, guys. Always trying to stay in shape. And if you want some free product, guys, go to Booker Social Media at gmail.com and I'll send you a little 5-pack. Try to get you going, especially early in the morning, man, when it's hard to crank up. It's like an old 69 Chevy. Wake up a rumbling and a stumbling. But once we get going, man, I'm talking about like nitrous oxide going down the highway, baby. But get you some, guys. Booker Social Media at gmail.com. Hey, man, where we at, man? Where we want to start?
Look, there's so many places that we could start. Again, we'll let the last show live on its own. If you want to go listen to what we said in context on the last show, you can do it. By no means. And here's the other thing, though. By the way, talking about Moose, I did see some hate for Moose online, right? After your comments, right?
Wow.
And again, look, there is not. Look, what they say? He without sin shall cast the first stone, right?
That's when they created the internet.
Right, yeah. Because that is the thing that bugs me so much about the internet is everybody is an expert and everybody's better than you, and they don't mind telling you that they're better than you and they're holier than thou, right? When I know these same people have said things, done things that they regret, or maybe they don't realize they're going to regret them right now. You cannot judge somebody by a isolated incident in the past. Now, I don't know the details of anything with Moose, and I'm not talking about him in particular. So I want to get that clear. I don't know the details, so I'm not speaking to it. But I know so many people who had a misstep on their path through life. People in my family, people in my friend circles, right? who've gotten caught up or busted for something. And do you think that I look at them any different than I did before? No, I don't, because I know the kind of person that they are. And I know that we are infallible as human beings. And to be able to move forward and forgive, that is what being a good person is about. It's not about how many retweets you can get because you want to be a social justice holier than thou person, right? There's room for that. There's room for social justice online, absolutely. But do not try to hold somebody back from chasing their dreams because you don't want to see somebody else eat out there. I hate that.
You know what, man? No, those are really, really strong words. But, with social media, being able to hide, man, and say things about people. And the thing is, when they say things like that, they're saying the way they really, really feel, but they can hide behind, those characters. And it's just like it's someone that's got a fake account out there, and they make up stories that I say about certain people. And the thing is, that person that's making up that story and attributing it to me, that's the way they really feel about the person that they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that people really don't understand. They'll read the article and think it's me, or some of them, or a lot of them know it's fake. But that's that person's real thoughts and real feelings about the person that they're talking about. And that's the sad part right there. The internet is a powerful thing. It could be used for good, and it can be used for evil. And that's just the way life is. And we got to deal with it. We got to deal with it. We got to be able to rise above the social media, quacks out there, and still live life.
We do have a super chat coming in.
Super chat.
So we can talk about this. Thunderwolf says, this is random, but WWE push Shelton Benjamin.
Is that a hashtag?
I don't think that's a hashtag. I think they're just saying they like Shelton Benjamin. I like Shelton Benjamin.
I like Shelton Benjamin as well.
Shelton B.
Shelton been around a long time. I mean, he's been around a long time.
Since like 2002, right? For WWE.
He's made a career. Of course, he left for a minute and came back. But definitely, Shelton's been one of those guys that I feel even after his WWE in-ring career is over, he's still going to have a job just because he's one of those guys that got that pedigree and that background to be able to go out there and teach the next generation. So I see Shelton as having and have had a hell of a career.
I think Shelton Benjamin is an incredible in-ring performer. I think that one of two guys who I've met in the business who are deceptively large. Like when you see Shelton on TV, he's actually doesn't look as big as he actually is. Like he's not a massive individual, but he's jacked. He's got to be like 240, 250 legit, right? Walking around with a bunch of muscle. And it really put in perspective all those things that he would do in the ladder matches.
Hey, man. Hey, that right there. Let's talk about that for 1 second. Let's talk about that. You can put yourself, back yourself in a corner in this business by being really, really talented, really, really good at what you do. And Shelton was one of those guys by putting himself in that position to go out there in that ladder match and make that moment, a moment that you're going to remember forevermore. Shelton Benjamin, walking the ladder, flying off the ladder, doing something crazy. You're going to get booked in those matches all the time. And Shelton was one of those guys. Every time a ladder match came around, every time it was a match where some chaos was going to break out, Shelton was one of those guys to be in that match. And for me, that could hurt you in a lot of ways. Me personally, I never put myself in position to, do the ladder match as well. I always sucked in those type of matches. And guess what? It was done on purpose. So definitely Shelton was one of those guys, very, very talented, but backed himself in the corner, just like Kofi almost.
I was about to bring up Kofi.
Backed himself in the corner to where he had to go out there and be able to produce that type of athleticism on a regular basis. And a lot of times it could be really, really hard.
Well, and also like a super athletic style, you only have that for so long, right? You can't be a super athlete your entire career. Even guys like, look, 300-pound, 25-year-old Brock Lesnar was doing shooting star presses off the top rope, right? He was doing that. He had the athletic ability to do that. Now what does Brock do? Brock does a bunch of suplexes and an F5, but his psychology is top notch, and people don't realize that. But
ground and pound, baby.
He does the ground and pound. He's able to age through it gracefully. But to go back to Shelton, I definitely see what you're saying by backing yourself into a corner at certain times. But Shelton, to me, especially in that when he broke away from Charlie and kind of had his own run on Raw, I thought that he was really being positioned in a really great way. He was the Intercontinental Champion, beat Chris Jericho, the aforementioned Jericho, on pay-per-view for the Intercontinental title. Had a really good run with that. And when he did the gold standard stuff and he had the gold hair, and I really enjoyed Shelton. And then he took that hiatus for a while and came back. And really, I think when you look at Shelton's complete body of work, starting as part of Team Angle into the world's greatest tag team, having the run as the gold standard, and then coming back and having that sensational run that was cut too short for the Hurt Business, Shelton Benjamin has had a career. Now, he hasn't always been in the position that maybe he wanted or the fans wanted, but he has had a career that most wrestlers would die for. Honestly.
Hey, man, every actor, don't win an Oscar. You know what I mean?
Right.
Every actor, don't get to play, like just say, for instance, Bill Paxton. Never really saw Bill Paxton, maybe once or twice in the leading role.
Right.
But he wasn't that guy. But I bet you all the money I got that as many roles that I seen Bill Paxton play in, he had a big ass house.
His house was nice.
I'm sure he was making a whole lot of money, with those movies that he participated in and played a role in and got that credit and got that royalty more than anything. So I tell you, man, you don't have to be the leading man. And I say that because I know I wasn't the leading man throughout my career. It was asked, I was listening to Disco Conan, and somebody wrote in, why didn't Booker T rise to the level of The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin? And that's really a legitimate question. And the thing is, there's a multitude of things that go into why one star shine brighter than the other. You know what I mean? But one thing is, a lot of guys, their star might have shined brighter, but my star been shining for 30 years. You know what I mean? And I'm still making money, and I'm still looking good, and I'm still having fun. Look at this here. Look at this here. You know what I mean? So my thing is this, man. It ain't about Shelton Benjamin. It ain't about Shelton Benjamin being the world champ. You turning red, man. You okay?
I'm good.
It ain't about Shelton Benjamin, being in the top, picture of the business on a all-day occasion. It ain't about that, man. Dude's made a hell of a good career out of this thing, and hopefully prepared to parlay this into what's next. That's what the business is about, I think.
I agree. And
I was looking at my hair yesterday, man. I was checking every little spot, and I'm like, man, I got one or two of them got a little thin on me. I might have to go to the beautician, fix that up. You know what I mean? God got the Clippers. It's just part of the deal. But yeah, man. Yeah. That's what it's all.
I just want to say, I think some people say if you don't win a world title, then, your career really, how much did you really do if you didn't ever win the world title? But to me, because there's conversations that wrestling fans have, and I always say, look, I don't ever remember Razor Ramon with the title. And I never remember Roddy Piper with the title.
Or Jake the Snake as well.
Or Jake the Snake. Or $1 Million Man.
Yeah.
Tell me they didn't have impactful runs. So get out of here with that.
Hey,
But
man, we
I
got
think
to take a break. We got to take a break. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. See what Harlem Heat. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the fame. It was about the reckoning. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I don't know if everybody out there know it or not, but I'm going to be stepping back inside the ring. Canton, Texas, January 22nd, I think that date is.
Mhm.
And I'm hyped up about it. I've been training. I've been doing that wheel, trying to make sure the abs is right and tight. I've been, like I said it on Monday. I've been working on the trapezius, the latissimus dorsi. I've been working on all of that. Trying to make sure when I walk out of that curtain, it's going to be, a feeling of old. And the thing is, I'm not coming out as GI Bro, coming out as Booker T. All right, so guys, get ready. Canton, Texas. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun. And somebody, I can promise you this, somebody is gonna get hurt.
Well, we'll see. That goes down January 22nd if you're in the Canton, Texas area. Or if you're not, it's worth the drive. Tickets available on realitywrestling.com. We do have a few super chats that I feel like we should get through, and then we'll get to our main topics of the day. First up,
Super chat.
Gianni Versace. I love King Booker. But Booker T 2001 wasn't playing no games with that entrance, with the pyro explosions and the fire. Booker T was at Rock's level in 2001.
You know what, man? I was there. I know I was. I know I played a hell of a role. Rockstar, was very, very bright. And everybody knew how big of a star The Rock was. Even before I ever got to WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it. That dude was he was on fire. And you definitely want to be in a program with someone like that. For me, I got a chance to come right in out of WCW and jump right in, a program with, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker. And the thing is, I think if you go back and you talk to all of those guys, I can't judge, how good I was. I'm not going to sit here and say how good I was, even though I know I was pretty damn good. Okay. But you asked The Rock, you asked, Stone Cold Steve Austin, you asked The Undertaker, you asked all of those guys that I worked, what type of athlete, what type of caliber of worker, performer, entertainer, showman was Booker T. And they're going to say, man, that dude was Tiger Woods of this business. And that's just the truth. And I'm not just tooting my own horn, but I knew how good I was, and I knew how good I had to be to rise to the level to become 6-time world champ. 35 times, man, 35 times to the mountaintop, right there, 35 times. If you want one of them, just go to realitywrestling.com and I'll send you one. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. That's the way it is.
That's the way that it is. We have another
super chat
from the Governor with the 179.
What the hell that
all in Minnesota, Shelton, Brock, and Gable Stevenson. Yeah, University of Minnesota, I believe. Brock and Shelton were roommates, I think, at the time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Some in the water.
I'm going to tell you, man, Shelton, he's legit, man. I've never tried him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
No, the thing is, I've tried them all. You know what I mean? Charlie Haas, I took him down, stretched him. You know what I mean? I made him tap. I remember one the kid, Alex Wright. You know what I mean? Took him down. You know, made him submit. You know what I mean? Bow down, and that's just the way it was. I was always about to, earthquake. You know what I mean? I didn't take him down, but
But say you double leg John Tenta.
tussle with him a little bit. You know what I mean? I didn't take him down, but well, a good friend of mine, God bless his soul, John Tenta. But Tenta, he told me one time because before he passed away, he lived right down the street from me, in some apartments down the street, and we were talking one day, and he goes, Book, and he had such a soft voice for a giant of a man. He goes, Book, I never told you before, but you're a pretty good wrestler.
Just so you know.
I'm like, man, I appreciate it after all these years, but God rest his soul. What a good dude, man.
I do always, there was that clip of your brother Stevie telling that story when they made him the shark, and
oh man,
when Stevie hit that line in that clip where I'm not a shark, I'm a man.
Oh man, remember my brother telling the story about when he wanted to kill Hernandez. And man, John Tenta, he wanted to kill him. He's like, I'm a sumo, I'll kill him. I mean, oh man. Anderson peeked his head into the locker room, and he saw how bad John Tenta was. John Tenta had his back turned when Owen peeked his head in. He peeked his head right back out. I'm like, man, yeah, man.
Love it.
Those are days, man. Chance of what we're doing here. Super chat.
Roland Curtis says, with the 20, appreciate you, Roland. This is what I was getting at with Brock's potential to be a technical wrestler. Shelton Benjamin coached Brock at the University of Michigan. Brock was amateur wrestling since the 12th grade up to the 2000 NCAA heavyweight champion. Yeah, I mean, Brock Lesnar's just a freak. He's a freak athlete. You know
what? Brock's we know that. We already know that.
Like, yeah.
I mean, that's like an afterthought as far as Brock being a super athlete. But Brock's entertainment, man, is definitely going to another level as far as being able to go out and just everything that he's doing right now, just talking. It seemed like he's just a regular guy. And I know somebody else like that. The Incredible Hulk. Okay. David Banner. You know what I mean? He's just a regular guy. But when he turned into that monster, you buy into it 100%. And that's what I'm saying with Brock Lesnar right now. He's definitely got that feel. I could be the only one that feel that way. But
no.
I definitely, I'm definitely liking what we're doing right now with Brock Lesnar.
No, you wouldn't. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Exactly my point. Right. Exactly my point. Brock right now, he's like such a nice guy, but it's like you don't want to take that guy off because you know exactly what he could do. You know exactly what this man could do. So that's why, for me, I always talk about professional wrestling. It's not like boxing. It's not like, mixed martial arts. It is to be embellished. It is to be taken light-hearted at certain times, but it is to be taken serious at certain times as well. Because I know for me, just say, for instance, playing the role as King Booker, just throwing the pinky finger up after beating somebody down, it made you feel a certain way. You wonder, man, I want to get him. I want to jump over the rail. And that's what Brock is doing right now. He's making you feel like, man, I want to have a beer with this guy, man, opposed to, man, I don't want to run into this guy in a dark alley.
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting distinction. And you know what I was thinking about when I was watching Brock and Bobby on Monday? We're in 2022. Brock came back to the company, if memory serves me correct, in 2012, right? Wow. This has been a 10-year run for Brock Lesnar. Brock's original run was about a year and a half, right? When we think about Brock, right when he came in with Heyman all that was about a year and a half in WWE before he chunked the deuce. There's a 10-year-old walking around right now who watches Brock Lesnar and has watched him his entire life in WWE, who is going to have their mind blown when someone says, hey, he was champion back in 2002. and they show him the tape back in the day of Brock during his first run.
Yeah.
But it goes to something that, Brock wrestled Hogan and retired Hogan. Someone just said that in the chat. But it goes back to this run of Brock is going to be what people remember. It's a far superior run to his first time, in my opinion. This last 10 years, Brock Lesnar has given us more moments than he ever could have dreamed of. And I think he's given us better classic matches. He's wrestled every opponent WWE has put in front of him. Everybody. Orton, CM Punk, Goldberg, who would ever thought we'd see that match again? Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, John Cena, Triple H, the litany, right?
Yeah.
And he's always gone out there. And even though people want to say, if they don't love his style, that he's just going there to pick up a check, there is no bigger attraction and no bigger legitimate draw in professional wrestling today than Brock Lesnar. It's just a fact. I mean, Roman is great. Roman is going to be there. But I think more people know Brock Lesnar than Roman Reigns right now. That's just in my opinion. More people are drawn to a pay-per-view if they see Brock Lesnar's name on it. That's just a fact. So I give that man so much credit for what he's done these last 10 years. It's been sensational.
But when you're a draw, man. You can say phone it in or whatever. I don't remember Brock phoning it in or anything. Having a part-time schedule. That may be true. But I remember when Roger Clemens was here in Houston, the brother didn't even have to practice. Just show up. Okay, just show up on the day you got to pitch. Okay, we're gonna pay you more than everybody. Okay, and that's the way life is, man. It's just the way it's always gonna be. If I can, get Usain Bolt on the team, and I know I got to pay him more, but I know I'm gonna win. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna pay him. That's the way life is. So I stress to young people. Put yourself in that position to win, young people. Don't make any excuses. We got to take a break. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Yourself, as far as that grind, how much do you actually embrace it? How much do you actually feel like that is a part of this journey?
Oh man, well, thankfully now the scene in where I'm from, I'm living in Oklahoma right now, and I wrestle in Texas. But thankfully now the scene is kind of growing with the streaming platforms, with places like Reality of Wrestling down there in Texas. You get a bigger buzz here, but for years it was hard. And so you had to get out there and travel. So there'd be many a nights where I was on the road by myself, 7, 8, 9, 10-hour drives there and back, sacrificing time with my family, sacrificing time at my real job, trying to just make ends meet. But when you really love this, and I tell people this all the time, some people just love coming through the curtain. You can't just love coming through the curtain.
Yeah.
When you really love this, you fall in love with the ground. Before you go down, so hate squats, man. I hate deadlifts. But if you really love this, you got to learn to love all of it. Every facet of it, every bit of sacrifice, every bit of time that you're losing with birthdays, loved ones, all of that.
Yeah.
When you really want it, when you really sacrifice, and when you start to see it pay off, you realize all of that is worth it and then some for this.
Can you dig it, sucker? Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We got more super chats, man, because we got a whole lot to talk about here today, man.
No, I think that's it. That's it for the super chats right now. But you can always send in your comments or questions, and we'll read them on the air. But where do you want to start, Book?
I mean, there's a lot out there. Corey Graves, of course, he got cleared to actually wrestle again, medically clear. CM Punk, of course, he made the news as far as calling fans out, hanging out at the airports, waiting for autographs. Eric Bischoff having issues with Tony Khan. Of course, the Hulk Hogan saga, the Hulk Hogan comments he made about Betty White as well as Sidney Poitier. I don't know where we start, man. I don't know. Let's start with something light. Corey Graves. What the hell is he thinking?
Well, Corey Graves.
Yeah, let's start there.
Several years ago, I don't know exactly when it was, May 2014, 2015, somewhere in there. He was sidelined due to, I believe, repeated concussion issues that he was having in NXT. And that's when Triple H made the call to say, hey, we want to sign you as a commentator. Started his broadcast career in NXT, killed it. A lot of the fans loved him. And then they called him immediately up. And he's been one of the voices of WWE ever since. But I think, what is he thinking? He sees somebody like Edge, right? He sees somebody like Bryan Danielson. He sees somebody like Christian.
Wait a minute. We knew all of those guys. Okay, all those guys had a run. And then something happened. Shawn Michaels, they retired, came back. Did nobody know who the hell Corey Graves was before he retired? Okay. I know he's going to be pissed off at that a little bit.
Look, people knew.
The thing is, he's done so good at being a commentator. What the hell is he thinking?
I'll tell you what he's thinking.
Back in that ring, and perhaps something happened, something pop, and then you know what? I don't know. I could be wrong here. I could be wrong, but I think Corey Graves, of course, having that feeling, that adrenaline rush, sitting there at the table, watching it go down is almost like watching the party go by and you're not participating in it. I understand that. I understand saying, hey, man, I might just have one chance at this, and if I got a chance to do it, I want to take it right now. How you going to tell a man that he can't stop doing what he's doing? I understand that too, but I remember one other guy, another one of my partners, one of my colleagues who did the same thing, wrestler. Then next thing you know, commentator. And then next thing you know, man, I feel good again. I'm going to go wrestle. Went back to wrestle. Next thing you know, his ass was gone.
Oh, you're talking about Alex Riley.
Alex Riley, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's not advisable.
He's been gone so long, I forgot his name.
Yeah, you couldn't even remember his name. We had him on the show. You can't remember his name. Look, I wasn't thinking Alex Riley when I heard this news. I did have a different name in mind, and this is why I think Corey's making a good decision here. This is the name that I had in mind. You want to talk about longevity and being able to cash checks from the desk and the ring? Jerry Lawler. How many times was Jerry sitting there on Monday Night Raw, exposure every week, and then every now and then they brought him into an angle? He's got a WWE title match with Miz on pay-per-view, right? That's called a check right there, Book. You get to scratch both itches. Scratch both itches. I said that, right?
That's
Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, you see that?
Jerry Lawler, Bret Hart.
You're so confused. You don't even believe this.
No. Jerry Lawler, Bret Hart. They had a run, right? Corey Graves could be that heel commentator or that commentator that every now and then finds himself into a program. I used to love, as a fan, when we would watch the show and somebody calls out Jerry Lawler or they'd call out Jim Ross and Jerry would stand up for him. And next thing you know, you got Lawler in the ring working that night. And he'd do the shoulder strap and fist drop off the second rope. You know how much I loved that when I was growing up as a fan? I can imagine people like me in that perspective back in the day. But now, kids watching, if Corey Graves just stands up from the table and defends Jimmy Smith.
The thing is,
defends old Jimmy. Or Corey versus Byron. Corey versus Byron.
Let me this here. Okay,
Wrestlemania.
I get that. I get your enthusiasms and how hyped up you are right now. But we haven't seen Corey Graves whoop nobody ass since he been there.
What better way to start?
You ever seen him even, bulk up to anybody or even get tough with it or even talk tough? And now all of a sudden, Corey Graves just gonna jump up from the table and just go whoop it up on guys. I mean, come on. You kidding me here, right? You kidding me, right? You kidding me, right?
No, I think it could happen. I think it could happen. Look, let somebody comfort.
My advice to Corey Graves. My advice to Corey Graves is to sit at that table. Just like Ernie Ladd said back in the day, Jimmy Cornette has paid me a job to do that job and I do that job well. That's what Corey Graves is right now. Do that job well, because you don't want to run back in that ring and something happened. Time off is your worst enemy.
I hear
you. How long has Corey been off now?
Several years.
Several.
I mean, six, maybe.
Several years.
7.
And so my thing is this,
8.
and the thing is, I'm gonna tell you right now, damn it, if Corey Graves make a comeback, I'm making one.
Y'all should do a program.
Yeah.
Do a tag. Or you know what? It could be you. Y'all could do a 6-man. Y'all could run as a trios. It could be you, Byron, and Corey. You know what I mean?
Hell no, we don't want Byron in that. All right, I'm gonna tell you right now, Corey Graves he got more black in him than Byron. I'm gonna tell you.
I've never seen a Byron Saxton match, but I'm going to tonight. I'm going to go out of my way and watch one.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Byron Saxton, you never see him without his suit on or anything, but that son of a gun is jacked.
Yeah, I remember the pre-show pose down.
He's in shape. I won that pose down.
You did,
but he's in great shape. But I would not want Byron Saxton on my team. Okay, we're in Wrestlemania. What were we at? Miami, I guess. Outside, getting ready for the show up on top of the building, whatever. I think that's where we were. And these two guys walked by, and we were rehearsing. It's like 5 o'clock or something like that. We're rehearsing. These two guys walked by, and the stage, in the area where we were, it was empty. Okay, nobody was there. And these two guys walked by, and they looked at Byron. They waved at him. Byron waved back, and then they looked at me, and they waved, and I looked at him, and I go, "What are these guys doing here?" Security. I called security over, and security go and check the two guys out. They had snuck in the building with some of the guys that had got in earlier. All right. They wouldn't have said anything to me. They would have been fine. But Byron wanted to give them autographs. Byron wanted to shake hands with him. It could have been a terrorist attack, and Byron would have let it happen. That's why I don't need nobody like Byron on my team. All right?
Okay. I hear you. I hear you. But Corey Graves, look, here's the thing, though, in all sincerity. If there's something that he really wants to do and he feels like he has unfinished business, I'm sure his first passion is inside the squared circle. And I don't know if he's thinking about doing it at a long-term position, because I agree with you. Giving up that chair, not advisable, right? I would not advise that.
I wouldn't.
But if you can work them both, I don't see a problem with that.
You know what? If you can work them both, I would be all in with that. But I would, like you said, I wouldn't give up a chair. I just wouldn't. I just don't. I think Corey is doing such a hell of a job being a commentator.
Great work.
Those type of guys, they come few and far between. They really do. Guys like him that could command that position, because you're doing that on a weekly basis, and you got to be able to go out there and do it somewhat a little bit different every time. And Corey he's literally mastered that. And I just would not want to, me personally, if I was in a higher position, I would not want to lose a Corey Graves in that position, just because he would be so hard to replace. Really would be.
I agree. I definitely agree. We do have this
Super Chat
from the Gift of Gav. Corey and Carmella versus Miz and Maurice. Book it.
There again. I just said it a second ago. You see the party going by. You like, the parade going by, man. Everybody look like they're having fun. You want to be, Miz and Maurice, they making things look fun. You got Edge and Beth, and they're out there doing things now. Everybody know about Carmella and Corey. So say, hey, look, man, let me get a piece of the action, man. I want in. I get it, okay, but let's see how it all work out.
And here's the thing: we do have a comment that says it's really not that difficult to be a commentator. That is definitely not true.
Wow.
That's definitely Booker. You can speak from experience at WWE.
Somebody that I'm sure has a great commentary job somewhere. I'm serious. I'm sure that had to be Bob Costas.
That is a difficult job.
Seriously. Because that's just a stupid. asinine statement right there, saying that that job can't be that hard. Okay, seriously. Until you try it, definitely you have no idea what that job entails. But we're in Hall of Fame, guys. Stick around. We got a whole lot more for you.
My name is Nathan Wasser, and I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I came down here to Reality of Wrestling to improve my training and get myself more experience learning from the absolute best. It's intense. It's hard. You got to leave your ego at the door and come in with an open mind. The way they do stuff here is the next level. But if you do that, you'll end up bettering yourself in the end, and you'll improve, and you'll be able to work anywhere.
Nathan, he's an unbelievably awesome student. I'll tell you why, right? For a few reasons. Number one, the man packed up all the way from the Great White North to move down here to the U.S. to train because he wanted to learn from one of the best. But what's even more impressive, on top of the fact that he takes care of his body, he works hard, is the fact that he was trained by a very reputable trainer and yet still comes down here humble, hungry, ready to work and ready to learn, and not coming in here acting like he knows everything or that he's too rigid in his ways.
Booker's knowledge will help you get to whatever goals you want to do if you want to be a big star in this industry. My end goal is to be in WWE. Coming down here to Reality of Wrestling, I feel is the best opportunity for me to get there, so I'm going to do whatever it takes. I can promise you, when you come to Reality of Wrestling, it will change your life. You will not regret it.
Can you dig it, sucker? Shoop. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Yeah, man. Just talking a little some here, Corey Graves. Like I said, hopefully, if Corey get back in the ring, man, best of luck. All fun aside, of course, Corey's my boy, and hopefully, if he does get back in the ring, man, he'd make it a success. But let's move on, man. Do we got any more super chats? What we got?
We do. Let's just try to rapid fire answer these because we do have so much to get through.
Sure.
This is from Brian, who said, "Book, should the APA be inducted in the Hall of Fame?" They're both in as individuals, but as a tag team.
You know, I don't know. I don't know if the APA did enough as a tag team to warrant a Hall of Fame induction. Me personally, that's
your next headline. You know they love that. They're gonna run with that one.
The thing is, I'm sure JB Hill and Run will probably say the same thing. I mean, they had some fun as a tag team, but I don't really remember the APA really being in a whole lot of programs. Do you? I don't know.
I remember.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, I remember them more in a periphery kind of thing, right? Like they would be, the backstage segments are legendary with knocking on the door. That's great. They had a little run with the Ministry of Darkness. I think it's hard for me to look at the team and then not look at the individuals in the team because one, they are both Hall of Famers. And they've had Hall of Fame careers outside of the APA. So it's hard for me to say, well, the APA shouldn't be a Hall of Fame tag team when two guys who are in it are Hall of Famers.
The thing is, they're Hall of Famers. To just make them Hall of Fame, put them in the Hall of Fame as a tag team would just be putting them in, just to be putting them in. That's just my opinion. I don't really think JBL and Run would really consider themselves a tag team more so than just being two good friends that was whooping somebody's ass, at the moment. You know what I mean? Two guys that was having a drink with each other in a contract, just happened to fall on the table for a tag team match. It was more so that for me, opposed to those guys actually being a tag team. Okay, like I say, that's just me. That's just me personally. I just don't think they did a whole lot. Like I said, you can't remember more than one program that APA had with someone as a tag team actually wrestling in the ring. Just give me a couple.
Yeah, I mean, to me,
if anybody in the chat, if you guys remember the pro, let me know because I can't remember. Now, Doom, Butch Reed, and Ron Simmons, You ask that same question. Should those guys be in the Hall of Fame? I'd say, yeah. You know what I mean? Because Butch Reed and Ron Simmons was built as the most dominating tag team that had come along for me at that time. So I look at it differently, and that's just me.
I hear you. I hear you, Book. I think the only match that I can really think of from them was the them and the Public Enemy.
Yeah, well, you just had to look that up. But
I didn't look that one up. I'm having an audio issue.
No, but my thing is, like I just said, Doom, if you ask me, you know, about Doom, you asked me about the programs Doom had, and boom, I could rattle them off, bing, because, you know, it was prominent. It was like, man, these guys are the best I've ever seen, you know, so I never looked at those guys, APA. I never looked at those guys like, man, these are the best I've ever seen as a tag team. I just looked at those guys as buddies.
Yeah. Oh, look again. My thing that I remember them most for is the backstage segments, which were always legendary. That's where you had your thing with LL Cool J. And here's the other thing. I will say that sometimes it's difficult because we don't know really the requirements of the Hall of Fame. Like, it's not like they had 20,000, catches or whatever the other baseball or basketball, they didn't have, 30,000 all-time points. It's hard to really say. It's all based on your opinion.
It really is.
Off their run. And sometimes it's also hard for me to not separate me being a real fan of somebody and then looking at their work objectively. Because to me, honestly, when you say, should APA be in the Hall of Fame, without thinking twice, I say yes. But then when you ask me what programs are they in, that's going to cause me to think a little bit.
Well, my thing is this: when you ask me, you ask me this question right here. Okay, this is the question that should be asked: should Ron Simmons and JBL be in the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely,
that's the question.
Yeah,
and I think that answers it for me. Now, right. if you just want to like add APA and throw another ring in, just like I say, for me, that's the only reason you would be doing it, because, like I say, if you ask me, the question is, should John and Ron be in the Hall of Fame? That answers the question right there. The tag team and those guys, they're all the same. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, it's true. It's really debating silliness. Really we do have, let's see, hold on. We had more super chats to get to, but I want to try to do these quickly. This is from Roland.
Super chat.
Wrestling commentary can make or break wrestling matches. I've seen many great wrestling matches destroyed by bad commentary, and I've seen bad wrestling matches saved or resurrected by great commentary. Absolutely.
That is so true. I mean, you got to be a really, really great storyteller. You got to be quick on the draw. I mean, and there again, a lot of times things may not be going the way the audience is, visualizing it on television because of the commentary. So you got to be really good at what you do to do that job. That's why I say it was a statement that shouldn't have been made as far as it can't be that hard until you try it. And that's anything. That's anything. That could be cutting chicken. You know what I mean? If you don't know how to cut it right, you might cut your damn hand off. Seriously. So you might want to be properly trained.
And look, I'll say this. Like, I had a background hosting shows and podcasts and radio and all this stuff. And then Booker says, hey, I want to throw you into the commentary role. And I remember that first taping at Comic Palooza. I'm thinking, okay, like, I've been watching wrestling my whole life. How hard could this really be? And then sitting in that chair, it is very intimidating. If you are not adequately prepared and know what you're doing, that is the most intimidating position to be in, because you're working without a net. You're having to enhance stories. You have to know when to interject. You have to know when to be entertaining, when to throw a joke in, when to be serious. There's so many things that you're juggling, and it depends on what position you're in too. Color guy is different than a play-by-play guy, which is different than the analyst. And you have to know how to play your position, play your role. It's a very difficult chemistry that goes into it, just like anything. Like hosting a radio show. Like, it's not just us talking. There's a lot of things that we're doing that if you're not trained on it, you don't realize, because one, we're that damn good. But the second part is because we know what we're doing. We're trained professionals. We
It's
know how
like
to get in and out of breaks.
It's like Michael Cole. People don't give him enough credit just because he's been there forever. And to have had that job for as long as Michael Cole has had that job, he's extraordinary to actually be able to do that 52 days out of the year. And back then, more than 52 because he was doing it twice a week.
Yeah.
So you and for 3 hours, and then 2 hours, and then pay-per-views, and then come on, voiceovers. It's a multitude of things that job entails. So someone like him is literally a rarity. They're literally a diamond. So you want to hold on to guys like that as long as you possibly. Like Jim Ross, give Jim Ross his props. Jim Ross stayed in that position forever. It still is in that position because it's so hard to replace someone like that. So I tell you, man, like I say, don't think before you speak.
Guys like Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross, and Michael Cole are rarities in any industry in broadcasting. And there's a reason why they've been in the seats that they've been in for so long, because they're that damn good at it. And it's so difficult. And Tony Schiavone just signed a new contract with AEW, so shout out to Tony.
Tony Schiavone was a guy that took off for 20 years.
Yeah,
he came right back in the seat. Still having that same feel that he had back in WCW.
I'll do you one better. He's better now. Because he went and called a bunch of minor league baseball games and stuff like that and learned a different craft and a different way to tell stories through sport. I think that it's added to him today. I think he's better today than he was in WCW.
Wow. Hey, let's move on, man. We got another super chat.
We do. Real quick. Let's just do 30-second answers to these. Since the Forbidden Door has been open, Corey and Carmella let's do Corey Graves with Carmella in his corner versus Big Kaz with Enzo Amore in his corner. Well, I think that there's some personal issues tied into that. So, maybe, maybe not. But I'm not super interested in that.
I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I do, like I say, I do see Corey Graves perhaps want to get back in the game because Carmella is the most beautiful woman in all of sports entertainment. And he want to get a piece of the action too, man. You don't want to just see a lady out there doing it like that. You go home. I just say, for instance, they go out. Who getting all the props? She is.
She getting the props.
You go out, can I get an autograph? Oh, no, not you, her. Look here.
This is what's happening right now. People walking up to Carmella saying, can I get a picture? And they're looking at Corey and say, can you take it for us?
Yeah, exactly. he like, man, I got to get my stardom back. So I get it.
I'm just playing.
I get it. What else we got?
Last super chat. That was messed up. I'm sorry, Corey. Should WWE let other companies like Impact or AEW be involved at WrestleMania since the Forbidden Door is now open?
Like I say, I think the Forbidden Door is open, but I don't think it's open for AEW. Come on, guys, let's just be real. The fans are so toxic right now. You say anything bad about AEW, my timeline blows up like crazy. You could it could just be constructive criticism. So you think the fan? No, the thing is, let's ask this question right here. You think the AEW fans want that? That should be the question.
Right.
You know what I mean? That should be the question because
because every time they bring up, go for it.
Yeah, no, like you just said, every time you bring up WWE to AEW fan, they lose their damn mind.
Yeah.
So do you really think the AEW fan want to see a cross promotion right now? Is that what you think? Me personally, I don't think so. That's why I don't think something like that would work. Now, other companies, like I say, New Japan, for me to get Will Ospreay, Jay White, someone of that caliber on American television, someone who's not seen over here a whole lot from a broad perspective. And I would love to get those guys on the television. We were just talking about Moose. If I can get Moose in from a cross-promotion perspective, Impact Wrestling, WWE, knowing it's not a whole lot that's going to be conflicting there between those two. Yeah, I see that. But I just do not see personally how that will work with AEW right now. Contractually, I just do not see how something like that will work. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong on both sides. Contracts are the fans not being so upset. I could be wrong, but me personally, I don't think I am.
You know, I'm right there with you, Book. I'm right there with you.
And I know we got to take a break. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. Man, this show's going too fast. You're in the Hall of Fame. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Being accompanied to the ring by Booker T from Houston, Texas, Gaspar Hernandez.
It is Gaspar Hernandez versus Diego de la Cruz.
If Diego's smart, and remember, guys, this is a former tag team champion, okay? Diego is a great competitor. He should have a... Oh, my goodness!
Well, I spoke too soon. Oh, my goodness. And you see Booker T giving instructions, almost coaching Gaspar Hernandez.
That's unreal. Diego, once again, a tag team specialist, man, but right out the gate, Gaspar just took him right off his feet.
I mean, what a vicious clothesline. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God, no.
Oh, my.
I think I can speak for everyone here, especially with the experience. That hurts.
Booker T just signaling to wrap this up, Kirby.
Absolutely. He's just directing traffic out there. As now Gaspar. Oh, no. Here he goes. Go for a run.
Oh, my gosh.
That's it. Oh, my God. Wow. Wow, gentlemen. That's all I have to say is wow.
Oh, my goodness. Or actually, to put it in terms that everybody might understand.
Can you dig it, sucker? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. There again, January 22nd, Canton, Texas. I'll be getting back in the ring with my new protege, Gaspar Hernandez, also known as The Reckoning. So if you're anywhere near Canton in the surrounding area, get a ticket, man. Go to realityofwrestling.com. Do it now, because this will be it's going to be a one-off. You know, you never know when you're going to see Booker T back inside the squared circle doing his thing just one more time. I'm never going to retire. Hell, I'm never going to retire. That's just the way it is. But who are we, man? Who are we?
Why don't we talk about you want to talk about Bischoff and his beef with Tony Khan?
Well, this beef right here, man, is you know, I don't know. I didn't read the whole article. Only part that I saw as far as having issues with Tony Khan comparing Jade Cargill to Goldberg. I don't know if it's because of the streak or the dominance of one. But one
I think
thing,
it's all of that. Yeah.
Well, my thing is this. Damn it. Since when somebody cannot have an opinion? If that's Tony Khan's opinion, that's his opinion. I can't have an issue with it or anything like that. And me personally, like I say, that's why I'm having really hard problem, grasping this, because I can't see Eric Bischoff being upset with another promoter promoting his company and saying, man, I'm gonna compare it to this. I'm gonna compare it to that. Just like saying AEW is like WCW, pretty much in its heyday. That's his opinion. And one can have that opinion without having issues with one having an opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just talking here. Well, how do you feel about it?
Look, again, you know what? To me, I actually see the comparison a Jade Cargill would have to a Bill Goldberg coming in with relatively no experience. Your first match is a big, high-profile match with Shaquille O'Neal, right? And then you get into this TBS title tournament, and you're the TBS champion, kind of like Goldberg was with it being the United States champion, right? I don't see any problem really with the comparison. And I don't get why Bischoff would be upset by that at all.
I don't know if
now this is what Bischoff told people on his podcast. that the comparisons between Cargill and Goldberg is ridiculous. Bischoff likened it to the kind of hype Dixie Carter owned bold promises about TNA back in the day. He said that so it's not smart of Khan to promise Jade is going to be the next Goldberg when she's still at the very start of her career. So he didn't blast Cargill. He said she's a very impressive looking individual, but that she's still very green and has a lot of learning to do.
Well, hell, Goldberg was green as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Goldberg was green throughout his whole career. We didn't know Goldberg was going to become the Goldberg that became, okay, until it actually happened. And I give Goldberg that credit, okay? I give Goldberg that credit for sticking it out in this business, because this is truly, honestly, and I think Goldberg will tell you, a business that Goldberg didn't really have a whole lot of love for, all right? But I do know Goldberg realized, I may not love it, but, man, damn it, I'm getting paid pretty well to do this.
Hell yeah.
So maybe I need to try to figure it out and continue this thing. And I think Goldberg said his last run coming back with WWE, this last run has been his best because, you know, he feels free. He doesn't have to go out here and you know, be anything other than, you know, Goldberg. Love me or hate me. So I give Goldberg the credit for creating, you know, the persona of Goldberg, because WCW has been over for quite some time. Am I correct?
About 21 years.
So Goldberg could not continue to be Goldberg anymore because WCW was done. He had to do that himself. So I give that credit of Goldberg creating that legacy of what he became. I put that on him, because after the streak was over and he left WCW shut down. It was a totally different game. Goldberg has lost. He's won. He's lost. He's won even when we thought he should have lost. You know, so it's been a whole lot going on with Goldberg since the demise of WCW.
Let me ask you, what do you think of Jade Cargill? She's come in. She's got an impressive physique. She's a hell of an athlete. She's definitely coming into her own. They put the TBS title on her. She's undefeated. Do you like what you've seen thus far from her? I'm sure she's got more to go, but
I don't give a damn if Jade Cargill could not do a wrist lock, headlock takeover. I wouldn't care. I'll put the title on. All right. I mean, come on here.
why is that?
Because she's a specimen. All right.
She's
all
star.
right? She's something that, you know, we have never seen before. And the thing is, when you put her on the marquee, whether you think she can wrestle or, you know, jump off the top or whatever, you want to buy a ticket just to see her, you know. So some people don't understand about this business and drawing money. Okay, when I see Jade Cargill, I see, man, we could draw some money here. And then if we could teach her the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts, the small little bitty things about this business, man, we could really do something. So when you look at someone like Cargill, and you know exactly what she brings to the table just from that box, okay? She checks all of them off, all right? And then she get in the ring and she can perform. Okay, now we got something. We don't have to do a whole lot of talking about this. And for her to be compared to Goldberg, I think I wouldn't say it's, you know, 100% spot on or anything like that, but I wouldn't say that it's so far-fetched that it's something that we shouldn't even be talking about. Like you say, both were green, both young in the business, both literally look so impressive. You can't do anything other than, you know, let them go out there and beat the hell out of somebody. That's just my opinion.
Send them straight to the moon.
Come on. I mean, I think people remember the one match in WCW with Goldberg more so than anybody else, and that's with William Regal, because it was so out of character. It didn't look right. You know what I mean? So you want someone like that to go out there and be able to literally just bring chaos, because we're trying to build something here. And I think Cargill is the perfect person to build something with, where people go, man, I don't think she's going to ever lose the championship. I don't think she's going to ever lose the title. When you get people thinking like that and somebody actually comes along like a Roxy and say, look at the little engine go, man. I mean, we got something here. So that's the way I look.
I agree. And you know what? Like, again, like you said, it's a big, when you put her on the marquee, you just want to see her. You might not even know who she is, but you're like, okay, I don't know who she is, but she's got something going on that I want to be a part of, right? It's even like, that was trending last night after NXT. NXT's kind of heightened up a little bit of the sex sells aspect with Mandy Rose. I don't know if you saw
what'd you think about NXT last night? You think about AJ Styles.
AJ, yeah.
Oh, man, and Lawler. Man, I'm going to tell you, what a match. What a match.
AJ's a GOAT, man. He's a GOAT.
What a match. And I just want to highlight that right there because people talking about NXT 2.0. It's not what it was, but I think it's something totally different. And I think if done right, that show is going to be amazingly hot over this next 6 months, if done right. Seriously, I feel that because to see a kid like that go out and work with AJ like that, that right there is what's called getting the rub. All right. That kid learned so much in that match with AJ Styles. He's going to remember it for the rest of his life. And I say that because of myself, Ricky Dragon Steamboat. First time I ever worked with him, didn't say one word. 20 minutes later, I felt like I had a master class. I was like, what is going on here? So definitely that's the way I see NXT 2.0 going forward. And I really think it could be really, really successful. Move on, man. I know.
Well, what do you think? What do you think though about the sex selling aspect of NXT?
Oh, come on, man. I mean, come on.
Did you see the Mandy Rose promo that everyone's talking about?
Look here, man. I did not see it, but if it's Mandy Rose, Mandy's hot. Okay. Mandy, I don't know if you've seen her Instagram feed, but she's always posted, always in a bikini, always letting you know this is it. You know what I mean? If you want to see it, you better buy a ticket. And I get that. It does sell. Come on, man. I was looking at boxing on television last night. It was a rerun on Showtime, and the Rain Card Girls. Man, I was more focused on them than the fight. So my thing is this, man.
We sat ringside at those UFC fights.
Exactly my point. So it's like, man, come on,
looking at?
I'm not going to sit here and say, come on, I don't like that, or it's something that's bad for TV or anything like that. I think it's
yeah.
Brad, you got me. I don't know what happened right there. My Wi-Fi dropped for a second, but I'm back. But my last words were, if good TV, if it's Mandy Rose, any day of the week, baby, any day of the week.
Well, let's go to a break and we'll come back and finish these segments here.
Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
He misses. Landing on the pile of chairs below. And now, it is the Bears' time to wield the steel. Oh, hold on. No. Looking for that Davison driver.
No.
On the chairs. What?
That's what I was afraid of.
Wait, he's not done, though. He's not done. Is he going to do it? Is he going up top?
Come on.
We've seen him do this in recent weeks.
Come on.
Looking for that 360 frog splash. On the chairs. 1, 2, 3. Ryan Davison wins the match.
Judge a book by its cover. You can look at someone and just like, say, for instance, I had a kid came to my school when he was 17 years old. And I asked him to get in the ring and to do one roll, do a right roll, left roll, and do a front roll, kind of like my 8-year-old kid does. And he couldn't do it. And I was like, man, you might want to try something else. I don't think this is going to be for you. I said, I tell you what, when you're 18 years old, come back. And he left, 18 years old. Kid came knocking back again. And I say, let me see you try those rolls again. He couldn't do those rolls, worth of crap. I said, I tell you what, Go work out for 6 months and come back. All right? Kid went, worked out as much as he could, came back 6 months later. And I said, let me see those rolls. He still can do those rolls. I said, why do you want to do this? And he said, I've been wanting to do this my whole life. And I said, okay, I'm going to sign you up. Signed the kid up. He sit on the sidelines for maybe 6 months to a year, and he was training, and he was just taking notes and taking notes and taking notes. Finally, we had a show, and the kid couldn't show up. And I said, hey, man, I'm going to put you in a match tonight. All right, just get in the ring. Let me see what you can do. He got in the ring. He showed me a little bit of something. He looked okay. Still couldn't do those rolls, okay? But he looked pretty good in the ring. Next thing you know, next show, I put the kid on the show again. He went out and did even better. Next show, he did even better. And it just started rolling after that. And he became the Reality of Wrestling champion. He was a champion for a year straight. Nobody could beat him. But he still couldn't do those roles. So I learned to say you cannot judge a book by its cover. Can you dig it, sucker? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Got a little bit more for you here. Myself and my man, Brad Gilmore. Hopefully, guys, you're getting your champagne wishes and caviar dreams here inside the Hall of Fame today. But we got a little bit more to finish up. We got any more super chats for you?
I don't see any super chats. I think we're ready.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Let's go to the finish here, man. And I think I think we can get a little bit of both in. CM Punk call out to the fans at the airport. What do you think about that?
Well, Punk's always kind of had an issue, I think, with the autograph hounds, people who just sell stuff on eBay or whatever. But I understand his frustration. I'm not going to say I don't. I kind of get where he's coming from, to be honest with you. You can probably speak from experience more than I can of this. But I can also understand, like, in a pandemic, you got a bunch of people running up to you, wanting to sign stuff, this, that, and the other. You don't know who these people are, what they're doing, or anything. So I kind of see where he's coming from. What did you think that it was off base?
Well, I don't know if it was just a heel persona maybe coming out. It's kind of like a work at the same time. But my thing is, I don't know. Since day one, the fans have always been at the airport, waiting on you to get there, and I don't know.
Some people have made it a career.
Well, a lot of people,
yeah,
a lot of people have made it a career, but I've always made it a point to where, like I said, if someone's at the airport, I'll only sign one thing. I won't, I won't like sit there and do an autograph signing or anything like that. But I definitely would sign a couple of things, and I'll say, hey guys, I got to, move on. I got to get going or whatever. But I just say, for instance, pre-pandemic, overseas, fans will be waiting on us at the airport. I remember there again. I don't know. This the way I'm just the way I'm looking at it. I remember my first time working at Madison Square Garden. I tell this story all the time. Where we had to park in the parking garage across the street. We had to pay for it, and then we had to walk through the fans to get into Madison Square Garden, and it would be hundreds of fans, literally hundreds. It could have been a couple of thousand. Never know how many people, but it was a bunch of people, and NYPD would have to get us through to get into Madison Square Garden, and they would be asking for autographs. They would be wanting pictures, and it was the most exciting thing that I could ever have been a part of in my wrestling career. And I can only imagine now, in hindsight, looking back, that not happening in my career. How would I have felt if I knew I could have had that? I don't know. I remember being overseas, and there again, the fans, sleeping in the lobby because they couldn't wait to see us. They want to, take a photo of us just walking by, even if they didn't get an autograph. They just want to see us. To take that away from professional wrestling, me personally, I don't ever want to see that go away. And I just look at it from a different perspective.
What'd you think of Hulk Hogan's comments?
Man, the Hulk Hogan comment saying that Betty White and Sidney Poitier got the jab. You know, that's what they're calling it. The vaccine, the jab. And they don't want to tell anybody. They don't want to release it, but that's the reason. That's what happened. That's how they died. And for someone like him who don't know what the hell he's talking about, first and foremost, to say something that stupid about someone that's 99 years old, about to be 100. I guess she was going to live 100 more years. I guess Sidney Poitier had another 65 left in him. But to not say someone like Herman Cain died from COVID. You know what I mean? Yeah. This guy died from COVID. We know he died from COVID, but you're not going out there saying, well, he was just old. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Some of the stuff people say when they just don't know. And I don't have a whole lot of respect for someone saying something like that, especially when they have no idea what happened with this person or not. It's just what we are in the world today. And the thing is also, it could be just, damn it, it could just be getting old. You know what I mean? Brad, if you ever find me on this show, or you say, man, Book is slipping, something's wrong with him, bruh, please tell me, please, because I think that's part of it. I think getting old and not wanting to, just let it go and, still want to have, I don't know, some form of stardom, some form of, being at a certain level. And I don't know what the hell it is, or just, losing it, or just going senile. But if you ever find me in that place where I'm saying something that's just so stupid and radical, please, bro, I beg you to pull me back, because I think that's got a lot to do with a lot of these old guys going out here saying a lot of stupid stuff. I really do.
Why do you think your screen froze earlier? That was me pausing you. Be like, oh wait, Book's going on. Old man Book's coming out. No, hold on, time out. No, I'm just kidding. Look, it's irresponsible at this point. It's totally irresponsible, and it's irresponsible from this. You do not know. That's where it's irresponsible. You will never find me giving anybody any medical advice, because I got a diploma on the wall, but it sure as hell ain't a doctorate, right? I didn't go to a medical school, all right? I went to school for something else. So for Hogan to do that, come on, man. Look, this is somebody who obviously sometimes doesn't think before he speaks, but in this particular instance, he definitely didn't think before he typed. I think he deleted the comment afterward because he probably was getting a lot of hate from it. But the thing is this, whether you're an anti-vaxxer or a vaxxer or whatever, I'm going to listen to my doctor and my doctor only. And I advise all of you do the same.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely don't want to be listening to a professional wrestler about your medical problems going on. It's just not a good thing to do. I just don't think that's wise. But man, I want to thank everybody for hanging out inside the Hall of Fame today. I want to thank Brad as well for being here. As always, super chatters, big props to you guys as well. Same time next week. Well, I think our time might change next week on the radio. But we'll be right here inside the Hall of Fame doing it like we do every week. Same place, same time. But right now, guys, peace. We out of here. Can you dig it, you sucker?